right, we are live. Welcome to the Sports Crew podcast. We're host Javi, and we got my guest today, Steve. Steve, you want to introduce yourself?
My name's Stephen Boateng. I'm a manager at Iona. Been a manager for 3 years now. Um, on my off time, I work with Chris Brickley, who's a NBA trainer at he works out of Manhattan. Um, I also caddy at a Scarsdale Golf Club. Um, and I also have my own podcast, Through the Lens. If you guys are watching, go check that out too.
Nice.
I'm always talking about basketball there too, and yeah.
All right, Steve. First question of the day. I gotta ask, what made you pick Iona out of all the other schools when you came here?
Well, originally I went to Manhattan, and uh, I really didn't want to come to Iona, but I came because they hired Rick Pitino. I always knew I wanted to work in basketball. I always knew I wanted to be an on air like analyst. Um, but my situation was good at Mahava. Like I wasn't paying a lot of money. I also didn't want to come here because my brother had came here. He was a manager and he walked on. Um, but when they hired coach, I'm like, this is a no brainer. Like the amount of connections he has, the amount of people he knows, the places that he could take me. Um, Obviously, I would love to utilize him, and that's why I decided to come to Iona.
Was your brother here when Coach Clues was here? Or this is before Coach
Yeah,
Clues?
he was here. So he was here when they had that at large bid.
Okay.
That was one of the first at large bids of the school. Maybe it's the only one we had.
Yeah,
Um,
that's crazy. I
so
didn't
they
know that.
won. So they won. He played two. They went to the tournament twice with him. They played Ohio State and they played where's that team that Jimmy for that? They played BYU.
BYU.
Yeah, they played BYU.
Wow, that
So it
was a
was up.
big year.
Yeah, they was up 20.
Yeah, you. I think we all remember that story.
Yeah, they was up 20 at halftime and they blew the lead.
That was by far one of the closest games that they had to advancing. That
Yep.
was crazy. I actually didn't know that. But when you was in Manhattanville, were you working with Seabrick? Like when did you guys start your relationship? Kind of.
I think I've been there for 2 years now. So probably I started like the end of like when I was deciding to transition to Iona. Like when I knew I was going to transfer to Iona, that's when I started working with Chris.
Wow. So was that kind of on your own? Did you talk to Coach P about that? Like how did that start?
So he put up a post about um needing interns. I'm like, this is one of the best trainers in the world. Like, this
Yeah.
be a huge opportunity if I can get this gig. And me being uh like a savvy type of person, I knew there was a high probability he's not gonna answer my DM. I'm like, all right, so what way could I, try to get in with this? I didn't know coach at that time because I didn't start the job. Um, so in the comments, like I seen like this guy, Alex Koblenz. I see he commented, he said, DM my manager if you're interested. So I'm like, the
Mm,
manager is usually the person that would answer. So he answered. I texted him, he answered. We connected with each other. He called me. It was like an informal interview type of thing. And then I went in for an interview, and then ever since then, we've been working together.
that's
I've been working for
crazy.
him.
Did when you was working with Seabrick up to now, did you see any maybe similarities or difference from him with Coach P? Like something that stands out?
Um, I think in every person that's successful, they have an insane work ethic.
For sure.
But every person, well, I can't say every person because
Majority.
I haven't seen every person in every industry.
Hmm.
But if you're at the top of your industry, your work ethic is crazy. So obviously, we know Patino is one of the greatest coaches to ever coach a game of basketball, college.
For sure.
Um, and we know Chris Brookley is one of the best trainers to ever train the game of basketball. So in that sense, they're both crazy, like
Work ethic wise.
addicted to the game of basketball, and it translates into uh their work. Like they're considered the best at what they've done. They're considered the best at what they do, and it's because of how uh, they're literally like they're addicted. Like they're
No, yeah,
addicted,
they sleep and breathe basketball pretty
addicted.
much. Like, but you haven't noticed maybe something that differentiates them too, like, or you think they're pretty similar and everything?
Um, different. What's different about them? Probably Chris. I think Chris is more so like he's more so like less outgoing than Coach P.
Okay, got you. Yeah, I've
Yeah.
seen that. He's always in the gym nowhere. Like, doesn't really. I seen. I don't know if it was a podcast or a YouTube video he had. He was talking about that he went on a vacation and he was freaking out because he's not used to being away from the gym so much.
Yeah, I watched that interview actually. He said, um, I feel like our four trainers will be better than me if I just
That yeah,
went
that
on
was the
vacation.
quote. Yeah, I forgot about that. He definitely is a gym rat for sure. And hearing his story from uh going from the Knicks and then obviously even sleeping, actually like physically sleeping in the gym, it's crazy to hear those stories. But what for those who obviously aren't in the gym when we're practicing, how would you describe Coach P in practice?
Um, he's a rigorous um coach. So like a lot of I'll describe Coach P's coaching style as like hard, aggressive. Like if I explain something to you, I expect you to get it. This is how I coach. If I explain something to you, obviously I know you're gonna mess up again, but let's try to mess up in a different aspect of the game.
For sure.
Um, but he's always gonna try to like mold you into the best player that you could be. And Coach P, like, a lot of people say this, like he's really like a player's coach. Like he's never. I love coaches that will never tell you not to shoot. He's always going to tell you, shoot the ball, shoot the ball, shoot the ball. Um, and yeah, he's a fired up coach. Everybody knows how fired up he is. So
Yeah,
he's not gonna sugarcoat nothing.
at
He's
all.
gonna give it to you how he's gonna give it to you. And he could get feisty at times, but
Yeah, no, Coach P, obviously for those who aren't really there in the gym, he is very expects perfection from everyone, of
mhm.
course. And it's not just players. We are talking about from the coaches even to the managers. And I guess I want to say he really prepares you for the real world. And like you said, a huge players coach, very beloved. And then his resume again speaks for itself. I don't think we have much to say on that. It's just speaks for itself. I know you mentioned obviously you came here because you wanted to do something with basketball. Talk to me more specifically, like what's your plans once you finish Iona? Like what are you trying to do?
um well, I have like a couple ideas in my head, but obviously like I'm not in control of my life. God's in control of my life. So
For sure.
I really I'm really leaving it up to him, and however he wants to take me, whichever route he wants to take me, I'll let him take me. But I've been thinking about um I haven't looked too much into this, but I've been thinking about like being a grad, either being I don't really want I would like to be a grad assistant as a basketball coach, but that's not gonna like propel me into the realm that I really want to be in. So uh Coach Jeff actually talked to me about like trying to look into being a GA in the media department at a school. I haven't done enough research on that, So that's one route that I'm thinking about. The other route is like when I do internships with like companies like MSG or ESPN. If they want to hire me after like I do a good job at the internship, then I'd feel like that'd be a no brainer as well. But obviously, like a lot of time, I've been talking to a lot of people, and they say you could get lost in the sauce a lot, like at companies like
Yeah.
ESPN. So, um, and
So more kind of like I don't want to say radio talk, but kind of how, for example, Stephen A. does something like in that field. You're saying?
yeah, yeah,
Got you, got you.
yeah. That's my angle. I want to be like, I really like try to pattern my uh debate strategies and like my charisma as like Jalen Rose, Kenny Smith, uh Tim Legler. Those are three guys that I really
Probably
uh
look up to
I
or
look up.
just
Yeah,
you trying to be. No, yeah,
yeah.
and me know a lot of people too. So hopefully that can get you somewhere, and then you can always invite them for like your podcast, your shows, and stuff like that. It helps. I was gonna say, I mean, obviously, since you're a basketball fan, favorite NBA team and or player and why?
Favorite NBA team, player, and or why? So I love the Knicks. I'm a Knicks fan, diehard Knicks fan. I'll never not be a Knicks fan.
Sure, New York.
New York till I die, man. If you repping anything else, man, you can't rock. I can't rock with you.
Oh, got you. Damn.
Um, so before the player that I'm about to say, it was Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah Thomas.
The
No,
current
no, yeah,
idea.
current Isaiah
Okay,
Thomas. Celtics. Isaiah Thomas.
got you.
Like he just had a like his story. Like I love a good story. He had a crazy upbringing. Um,
Yeah, so basically almost MVP. His last
exactly.
year in Boston, 5'9".
Exactly. And the 40-point game after his sister died. So all that which was resonated with me, but then like he fell off obviously because of injuries and stuff. But now, ironically enough, it's another Celtics player. I like Jalen Brown now. Jalen Brown. I mean, people say I look like Jalen Brown. That's not really why I
Yeah, I
I
remember I was
say
one of the first people to, well, not one of the first, but that was
yeah,
the first impression I got.
yeah. A lot of people say I look like Jalen Brown. But I seen during the finals, I was watching his game a lot. Obviously, it's the finals. So
Sure,
he was playing the best. He was the best
better.
player on the Celtics during the finals. No disrespect to Jason Tatum.
I agree. And
But
I'm a Celtics fan, so I definitely agree with that.
yeah. But then I seen him at a Brickley run, and like, bro, his game was just like it's
Crazy.
just crazy, bro. Like he got everything in his bag, like, and he's an underrated, not a he's an underrated shooter too. And to come from like, because he wasn't a great shooter when he first entered the league,
For
and
sure.
now he's a great shooter, and like his moves is, and he plays both ends of the
Yeah,
floor.
two-way player for
Yeah,
sure.
I like players that play both ends of the floor,
100%.
and like, man, he's just so tough, man.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, he's
Brown.
just so
I
tough,
remember
bro.
when he got drafted. It was from Cal, and he was the third pick, and some people question it, like damn, Jalen Brown, and he didn't even really, not that he didn't play as much his first year, but he had to earn his minutes.
Yeah,
Like I felt that Tatum when he got here, of course, due to Gordon Hayward's injury, he kind of got a little blessing in disguise, but Jalen Brown just the years he's progressed to is kind of crazy to think about. And currently on the Iona men's basketball team question, who would you say is the funniest player you know? It could be current or past, of course, that you've met.
all right, I'll give you past and I'll give you present. Definitely AB is the funniest person on the team right now.
For sure, for sure.
Like
Yeah, his impressions.
no questions asked. Like Anton is the funniest person on this team. And he's one of the funniest people that I know too. So like AB is hilarious, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Uh and then previously I'll say Omar.
Omar. Okay, you
Yeah.
think Omar, well, at least I wasn't around Omar too much. I know definitely past. I would say Ryan and Rob, both of them together. Like it was just funny. He was funnier than both of them.
Nah, yeah, I think Omar was funnier than both of them.
No, yeah, that's cool.
Because
No,
Omar's tendencies, he wasn't like a jokester as much as Ryan and Rob,
it was
but
just
his
natural.
tendencies was funny. Like he would just do stupid things. Like he's just a stupid like guy.
Yeah, Omar was
So you could laugh at him.
yeah,
Like
no.
he's somebody you could laugh at.
Yeah, Omar, it was definitely I've been around him a few times. Yeah, he had his moments that I seen, but I think currently I definitely will agree with you on AB.
Yeah,
It's just
100%.
I think from the first week he got here, I already knew. I was
Who do
like,
you think is the funniest staff member?
staff member. Are we talking about currently?
Yeah,
Including managers.
yeah.
Good question. I know for sure if I had to say pass, it would definitely be between Casey and Matt Martinez. I won't explain why, but they were very funny. But currently, damn, I want to say it's kind of neck and neck with you and Mike when you guys are together. It's just like funny. Coaching wise, I mean, I want to say it's tough. Coach Johns has definitely his moments. Coach Jeff sometimes, but maybe coaching wise, Coach John. I don't know who you would say
not
coaching wise.
not Costa League is dumb funny, bro.
Really,
You probably haven't been around him as yeah,
not as
bro.
much.
He is comedy,
Yeah,
bro.
no, he was.
Comedy.
I think one of the funniest like things in practice. I won't say, but definitely was last year. Coach Tom's. He always had the best like one liners. It was just funny, man. But this year, I don't know. I definitely got to get around to league more to see. I was gonna say since you asked the staff, what about managers, current or past? Who would you say funniest?
Hmm. Damn, that's a tough one. Damn,
It's a
who
lot.
makes me
We've had
laugh?
like
Yeah,
almost 15, 20 managers in the last, couple of years that we've met.
yeah,
So a lot of options.
that's tough, bro. I don't know. I'll say. I guess I'll say. Uh. I could laugh at like laughing at people to me is like you're funny. Like Jelani,
Yeah.
I could laugh at Jelani a lot. Jake, I could laugh at Jake a lot. Because they just have funny tendencies.
Yeah, no, Jelani definitely had his moments. I think last year was funny. During the 2 minute sprint.
Bro. He'll
No,
be on the
Jelani.
sideline doing push-ups, bro.
I
Like,
remember that. Yeah, I was like, damn, and yeah, shout out to Jelani, man. He's a workhorse definitely. When I seen he play, what was it, King of the Court with you guys? Like,
yeah,
yeah, he's a tough kid. What about? So you say Jelani probably for both past and
yeah.
present. Got you. So obviously I know you've been with a lot of workouts such as Seabrick. You've done a lot of workouts with current and past players. Who would you say you're kind of the closest with? I guess you want to say outside of basketball from both sides.
Um, I think me and Tyson developed like a really close relationship. I don't talk to him as often as I did, obviously, when he was here. But like when he was here, like me and him were like, man, we would damn near do everything together.
Yeah, I
Uh,
remember what was it, Mister Get to Your Spot?
yeah, he got like he shouted me out on
His
the
not interview, the post game. I
yeah
remember.
post game interview.
That's crazy.
Um, like that was pretty cool. Um, who else? I mean, yeah, I just want to like I would like to I would speak more on his me and his relate like he'll call me to rebound or whatever. I would show up every time, and then like one time we worked out. Like this is after he graduated. We worked out at Concordia. It was like 4 a.m.
I actually seen that. Yeah, we
Yeah,
I think we went to a Yankee game the night before, and then I seen that he went. It's crazy.
yeah, we went to work out like 4 a.m. Randomly, I wasn't even like I don't be up at 4 a.m. like often.
Yeah,
So I was just up randomly. I woke up out my sleep. I seen he posted some, and I guess he saw that. I saw it, and he's like, "Yo, you want to go to the gym? Like, what you doing?" I was like, "Yeah, of course." And then we went
that's
to the gym,
crazy.
and we was like vibing, bro. Like, 4 a.m. is the best time to go. Like if you ever went to the gym at 4 a.m. with somebody, like
Yeah, because nobody's up.
nobody's up, like it's just you and him. It's a vibe, bro.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
I want to say for me, I have a few. My freshman year at first, was Mike Ortega. He was walk on, and he was only here for a semester. Eventually left. I was very close with him, and when he left, I don't know if you know EJ Crawford.
Yeah.
He I wasn't even like, I was obviously trying to do my job, not really too much into being close to everyone, but he kind of was always not checking up on me, but talking to me or whatever. And I wasn't expecting, of course, best player in the team. I'm like, he's gonna do his own things, that's fine. But I got close with EJ. We hung out a lot, and even after he graduated, we FaceTime a few times. I seen him at Quinnipiac. I think it was last year. I got close with him. I think after that, definitely Tyson for sure. It's crazy to think about. Like, again, he was one of the best players, and then he was always so nice and always so close with people. And even after the season, again, we went to, like I said, the Yankee game. He would kind of hit me up. So Tyson was definitely one of them. So Tyson, EJ, and them. And I'm trying to think if there's anybody. It's a lot. Like I'm close to a lot of the players, of course. Like you don't really want to pick sides because they're all great. Parker was definitely somebody who I connected with because he was roommates with Mike. But yeah, I might have to say Mike Ortega, EJ, and
Tyson.
Tyson. Yeah, they're great dudes, and we'll see definitely this year. What happens? New year, new team. I think as of now, this year, I want to say Oz. Oz is very outgoing. When I first met him, he was like so quiet.
Yeah.
He so yeah, for some of you guys who see Oz, like he definitely does talk. I think when he's comfortable around you, he
Yeah, for
talks.
sure. For
He's
sure.
a funny guy. But I'll leave you off with one more question. Of course you've been around so many people such again as Coach Patino and C Brick. What's one thing you could say that they've maybe not said to you directly, but maybe you've heard them say this like a kind of as a speech that resonated with you, something that you took away.
Um so Coach P says something along the lines of, well, exactly along the lines of, it's a privilege to have pressure.
Gotcha.
Um, and taken that with, I've taken that into my everyday regimen, and so every time somebody asks me, like every time I've gotten like a big task to do, or like something at home needs to be done,
Mm,
like if you trust me enough to tell me something that I'm not supposed to tell nobody, boom, that's pressure. If you trust me enough to give me a task that you trust nobody else to do, that's pressure.
yeah, like even driving one of those cars, which
Yeah.
you would never want to like scratch or crash. Like
Yeah.
that's privilege
Yeah.
for sure. I think for me, I always have like the same answer. There was one time, it was one of my high school varsity assistant coaches. I think it was probably my senior year because we was talking about like my career path, what I'm gonna do, and I tried to ask him for advice, and he gave me this one. I don't want to say phrase, but little story that he said, and it stuck with me even to this day. He said, I asked him, so what's your advice? And he said, my advice would be to always work harder than everyone, even if no one's around, because you never know who's looking around. He said, for
Hmm.
example, um, if you're a janitor, you better be the best janitor there is there and like put in the extra hours because again, you never know who's watching. So whatever field or job you're in, always give it 110%. Like, you know.
To coincide with that point, I read this book called Chop Wood, Carry Water.
Mm,
And uh like to give it briefly, this kid went to this school, uh it's archery school. So he went to this sensei. It's based in like Japan, I think. He
mm,
went to this country. He went to Japan to work with this sensei. It's like a camp for a bunch like top archery kids, expecting to like just learn archery. And the whole regimen, first couple months of the regimen with this sensei is you have to start your day by chopping wood and carrying water. So the whole point of that is if you could um be locked in and be so if you could be so locked in and do the same thing, same little task every day, then you could be locked in and able to do a task that is completely different than what you've been doing, and completely different and completely harder than what you've been doing. So if you, and that task is um not something, that's not something you want to, a kid that wants to learn how to be one of the top archery
Yeah.
kids, that's not something he wants to do. But if you could learn to do the same little thing every day,
Mm.
constantly in and out, then you could be given any task.
Oh yeah, I actually never heard that. First time.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But I do appreciate you for coming on tonight. Today, of course, I knew you were busy. One of the men's basketball managers. Appreciate you for having me or having you on my show. And don't forget also to check out his podcast, Through the Lens,
Yes,
right?
sir.
Yeah. So any suggestions for you guys have of bringing someone else on the show, another topic, you let me know, and probably see you next week. So.